Tell us about yourself and what motivated you to run for the Arizona State Legislature.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Gilbert. I'm the youngest of six kids. Um, so I I grew up here. I love Gilbert. I went to high school in Mesa, but have spent most of my life here in Gilbert. And I attended the University of Arizona in Tucson. I studied political science and Portuguese. Portuguese because I served a mission for my church in Brazil, and also in Utah because I got kind of a COVID weird situation, but loved Brazil, loved speaking Portuguese. I continue to study it today. After graduating, I started working at Turning Point Action as a voter analyst. I worked there for about a year, and now I currently work at the Arizona Free Enterprise Club as their local policy liaison. I've worked for them a little over a year now. So basically, what I do for them is study what's going on in the municipalities. So I'll see what's going on in Gilbert Town Council, and I research things going on in their budgets and whatever else is happening, and I write about them. It's a super interesting job, and I love where I work. I love the people I work with. So I decided to run after I started working at the Arizona Free Enterprise Club because we would go down to the Arizona legislature and I would watch the proceedings, and I realized I wanted to see more fighters down there. There's a lot of really good legislators down there, but I felt the need to step up. And after prayerfully considering it, with an open seat with Warren Peterson leaving, I decided to run.
Okay. What professional or personal experiences best prepare you to represent the business community in Gilbert and the East Valley?
So working at the Arizona Free Enterprise Club has given me a lot of experience to meet a lot of people who are business owners who are in that community. Recently, since I work on the local level, we've been meeting with a lot of candidates for town and city council, and several of them have been small business owners, and I've been able to listen to their concerns and why they've decided to run because of issues they've had mainly at the local level, with their business, having a hard time with permitting or licensure or whatever it is. So being able to hear the concerns firsthand from small business owners, I think gives me a good advantage and good experience to go into the legislature to do what I can to advocate for businesses, once I am hopefully elected.
Arizona has built a reputation as a pro-business state. What policies do you believe are most important to maintain Arizona's economic competitiveness and ensure that businesses continue to invest and create jobs in Gilbert and throughout the state?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things is reducing taxes. I think that so since Arizona already has one of the lowest income tax rates in the country, we're now competing with other states that have no income tax, like Florida and a few others. I think continuing to reduce taxes where we can will help us, will bring in business, will bring in workers as well to make us more affordable and make us more, um, to make us look better to those that we're competing against, other states. Um, and the Arizona legislature, the Republican-led legislature, has done a really good job at reducing taxes. But I think we can go a little bit further in that. And obviously, there's an affordability crisis in Arizona right now. It's very expensive. I think doing what we can to lower gas prices, managing the water better, and these are very very complex issues that I'm doing my best to learn. But I think as we handle those and manage those better, we'll bring in businesses and bring in a better workforce as well.
Okay. So, continuing in that vein, what role should the legislature play in strengthening workforce pipelines through K-12 education, community colleges, universities, and career training programs?
I think one of the best ways we can do that is to continue to protect school choice and the ESA program. Um, it's been a little bit of a controversial issue these days, the ESA program, but I do truly believe it's one of the best programs we have. And to continue to allow parents to decide what's best for their children, how best they can be educated, is the best thing we can do at the legislature. And that gives a lot more opportunity for kids to go and explore things like trade schools and additional things that I think maybe they were closed off to before without school choice or without the ESA program. Um, and with, I think there's a lot of worries these days with AI taking over a lot of things. So a lot of people I've talked to, at least around my age or a little bit younger, are worried that their jobs are going to be taken. But to be able to have the opportunity to look into manual labor, trade schools, vocational schools, just have their opportunities expanded, I think will help in our workforce.
Okay. What role should the state play in supporting infrastructure as it relates to transportation, water, and other key systems necessary for continued business growth?
So the state government, that's one of, I believe that's one of their main purposes, is to provide infrastructure like roads and water management and all of those things. I think one of the biggest ones that will help Gilbert is the are some of the infrastructure projects in Pinal County right now. Um, I know the 24 will be a big deal. I think once we can get that widened and um, get that fixed, that will help Gilbert be a lot more smooth congestion wise. I think also looking into the I-11, get that moving along. I think the legislature plus working with the federal delegation and just on the federal side in general, I think will help clear things up a lot in the valley in general. So I think the state government needs to prioritize roads where they see fit to widen, like in these two examples that I gave. Water management, that's such a big issue right now. It's extremely complex, and I'm really trying my best to learn a lot about it. But I know right now the state legislature is working with the federal delegation on the Colorado River um, agreement to see how we can best manage in that way and um, get things to be more affordable in our state. And I think it's a huge priority that state legislators should have when they're down there.
Okay. Now, following up on your answers that you've given, is other than, I mean, you mentioned two specifically, but this will give you an opportunity to, if you want to expand on those or other ones. But could you provide a specific transportation or infrastructure project that you feel is important for our community?
Yeah, so I think between those two, I'd probably highlight more the 24, since Pinal County is so close to where we are in Gilbert. I think that's going to streamline a lot of things for us and help smooth things out and reduce a lot of traffic. So I think the 24 for Gilbert is one of the main things that will help us and help businesses and individuals as they commute.
Okay. Thank you. Dan?
Hi, Mylie.
Hi.
The next question has to do with housing. When it comes to housing availability and workforce housing, what policies, if any, should the state consider instating to improve housing supply while maintaining appropriate roles for local communities in planning and zoning decisions?
So the housing one is a tough one too. I know in Gilbert there's been some controversy uh, around apartment complexes coming in. I do believe we need to do what we can at the legislature to allow single family homes where we can, um, make it easier for them, streamlining permitting processes, things like that. I think Gilbert right now especially is it's very expensive. I've I've looked at, houses and apartments and all these things. So I think allowing for more single family homes would be beneficial. I know spacing is an issue. Um, this is a topic I look forward to working with with the housing community and the local level to learn a lot more about that. But yeah, I think those things could help.
Thank you. How do you view the balance between state authority and local decision making when it comes to economic development, housing, and business regulation?
Yeah, so I believe this has been a topic actually I've been studying a lot lately. The basically local control. So in the state constitution, the cities and towns are specifically delineated in the constitution that they are subdivisions of the state. So I do believe that when there are issues at the local level, it is the responsibility of the legislature to step in and rein in when there's out of control local governments. Through my work, I do a lot of studying of the tax increases, rate increases, that are constantly happening in municipalities around the state that are hurting individuals and businesses, to be frank. And I think it is in the power of the state legislature to rein in anything that is out of control. That I don't believe that just because the municipality is closer to the people in a way that they are automatically perfect or the best form of government. I think everyone needs to have their checks and balances. I hope that answered that question.
Thank you. Maybe adding to that, is there a specific issue you hope to champion when it comes to the balance between local and state?
I haven't thought about one specific issue, just more of the overarching, um, keeping things keeping things affordable and keeping things, um, reasonable. I think there's a lot of local governments that are spending outside of their means, and so if there is a need to step in and rein back tax increases, fee increases, rate hikes, I believe it would be within the legislature's power to hold off on that. I know right now currently, um, there's a there's a bill actually. I think it might have died. There's a resolution going through the legislature right now for a 4-year moratorium on taxes, rates, and fees. And I know there's a lot of, um, differing views on that, but I think that would be beneficial for individuals and businesses to have a little bit of a break, because after looking at budgets of municipalities, there's a lot of spending that is not necessary some of the time, and that can be that can be controlled through spending wisely rather than just constantly increasing costs on residents.
Thank you. Our next question takes us back to water management. What role should the legislature play in supporting responsible water management while ensuring that communities like Gilbert can continue to attract businesses and residents?
I think doing I think by talking with municipalities, working with the local level, working with the federal level as well, to find where the issue really lies, because I know Arizona has a ton of water. We are great at conserving water. I believe the best in the nation, from what I've heard. Um, but it is an issue of mismanagement, and being able to treat that water and get it to where it needs to go. So yeah, I think it should be a main priority. But once again, this is something that I believe I can never stop learning about, is the water issue in Arizona. So it should be a priority of legislators to manage it properly, and I hope to learn more how we can do that best.
Thank you. And our last question: what is one policy issue affecting Arizona's business community that you believe the legislature should prioritize over the next 2 years?
I think one of the main ones, and I'm going to kind of generalize in this way, but I think overregulation. I think government is far too large, whether it's at the state level, whether it's at the local level or the federal level. They reach their hands into a lot of places, businesses being a big one, small businesses being a big one. So I think the legislature can look at where we can cut regulations, where we can cut red tape or duplicative permitting or licensure. I look forward to talking to business owners to see what we can do at the legislature to cut red tape, to make it easier for businesses to thrive. Specifically in Gilbert, I mean, we have so many small businesses in Gilbert and big businesses, but I think we can scale back a lot to make things easier, and that will also attract more businesses and more workers here.